The police situation in Morgan Park is now over. After hours of surrounding a neighborhood, a tactical team breached the home and found one woman with a self-inflicted gunshot wound inside. Good evening, I'm Dan Wolf.
And I'm Laura Lee. Thanks for joining us tonight. After 4 hours of that large police presence, the Duluth Police Department confirming tonight that a woman was found dead inside a house in the Morgan Park neighborhood.
This all happened tonight near 86th Avenue West and Edward Street. Roads there were shut down for hours. Northern
News Now's Natalie Hepner was there throughout the night. Natalie, a lot of officers and a tactical team were there putting in the work.
Yeah, Dan and Laura, according to the Duluth Police Department, they responded to a report of a person with a gun around 4 this afternoon in the Morgan Park neighborhood. Here's a look at that scene earlier today. According to the DPD, the officers responded and said there were 2 people involved who knew each other. Officers tried to make contact with the people involved inside the house, but were unable to. According to the DPD, different tactics were used to try to get access into the house, including drones. The tactical response team and crisis negotiation team were then called in to help contact the people involved.
After hours of attempting to make contact, the members of the tactical response team made entry into the residence. That's when we located an individual with what appears to be self-inflicted gunshot wounds. So that individual is deceased.
We're told the other person involved was not hurt. DPD confirmed the individual found dead was a woman, but we don't know how old. They won't be releasing any names until the next of kin is notified. Now, 86th Avenue West was still closed when we left the scene around an hour ago. DPD said they will reopen that road once investigations are completed.
All right,